Okay, well, as far as I can tell, I'm back. I hope that works. Okay, it seems like it is working. I apologize. I don't know why the stream stopped. I had no issues on my end until like 3 minutes after you guys said you did. Okay, it does say there's still people in chat. Okay. Excellent. Anyway, Feldegriff case file. Okay. You guys want to work on case files? We can do that. Let me just see. Open up the case files set file. All right. Okay. So, what do we have? I've made some stuff. Oh, I don't think it saved the thing I made earlier, so now I don't remember what it was. Excellent. Okay, well, we got our Planeswalker. The chat extension is offline. Oh, I see that. Well, we'll want that for the YouTube playback. Okay, it's back. Also, I gave you the research symbol in the Discord. Excellent. I just add it to one of the folders and good to go. Well, good work on that. Thank you. All right. Well, sorry about all that mix-up. I apologize to YouTube as well. It's going to be probably 2 videos again. Because unfortunately, it would not allow me to continue the stream. Okay. So, you do have to do one small thing under your MSE set info tab. Okay. Under custom mana symbol, name, add research.png. Research. And .png. Now, this file isn't really where it's as important because this is the case file set file, but still, good to know. Thank you. All right, we'll get that going later. Then check, enable it in text boxes. Sweet. I mean, I guess I can test it now. If I download it and extract. Okay, Magic mainframe extras. I always forget where I put my program file for Magic Set Editor. All right. It will be wired to V when you add it in. Excellent. Thank you. What is the symbol? Is it a round bottom, flat bottom, or the Meyer flask? It's a microscope, yes. I'll carry over even when I update. That's fancy. All right. I'll skip on it for now, just because I would have to spend more time finding where I put my MSE program files, and I always forget where that's at. So for now, let's just get to the case files. I'm not exactly sure what we want to do as far as like breakdown. The Mystical Archives had... You don't have your MSC pinned. Oh, well, I have it pinned to my taskbar. But... Oh, I guess I could... Properties? And that might show me the file. Yep, you're right. Okay, the file path. It is on my desktop. Interesting. But I don't see it here. Oh, there we go. Okay. M15. Mainframe. No. Magic mainframe extras. Okay. There it is. Okay. Got it moved in. But that probably means that I need to restart. So I'll save that. And close. I mean, I don't care if we get it wired in tonight. I mean, to add sarcasm part. Oh, I know you're being sarcastic. I just was like, well, you're right. I can probably find it quickly from there, and it turned out to work. So, I don't know. Let's go here. Haha! It works. If we're doing case files now, for one idea, what about a black creature with undying morph and a cheaper megamorph? I'm curious why you would make the megamorph cheaper than the morph. Would there be any reason to normal morph it then? Oh, wait. Hold on. I have it in. You make the megamorph cheaper because it skips undying. Oh. That is a weird design. Okay. I can get behind that. I was forgetting about the undying part of the equation. Cost less. Oh, mini morph. I love that. Okay. So, case files. One idea. Black creature. Boom. Undying. Morph. Megamorph. Be like, a 2 and a black. And then Megamorph would just be like black. Yeah, Megamorph plus Undying makes sense. I just missed that interaction. Okay, what kind of body do we want? I feel like Undying is kind of hard to cost. It doesn't even need morph, does it? I guess it doesn't need morph. So then you've got two modes on this guy. You cast it normally face up and then it has Undying, or you cast it face down and then you have to pay to turn it up and then it gets a counter, but it no longer has Undying. Sorry, this is really wrinkling my brain. So like for 5 mana, you could have a 3/3 Undying. It would turn into a 4/4 Undying. You're getting 7/7 of stats for 5 mana, which is good, but at two different inefficient rates. So I think that's about right. I guess I'd have to check what are the other actual Undying cards. There aren't that many. Relentless Scabs was a 4/4 for 5, but as an additional cost, you had to exile a card from your graveyard. I think this might be about the right rate, honestly. I mean, it will cost 4 with the Megamorph. To make it cost 6 or 7 face up? I was just throwing on a random value for the Megamorph. It could be, whatever. Okay, so say it's a Megamorph. You put it face down. You flip it up, and it'll become a 4/4. So you're paying 3 to start with. So, 2 more mana? Well, that's actually probably still a bit. I think 3 mana might be a bit more fair. Because for 2 mana, you could turn it from a 2/2 into a 4/4 at instant speed. That seems real good. But I don't know. I have not costed these things very much. That's rough. Okay. Mystical Archive Split, which would be my preferred ratio for these, was 18 uncommons, 30 rares, 15 mythic rares. Yes. There were 63 of them, but it was a bit weird. There was an extra an extra rare for red, blue, and black, I think. 3 of the colors had an extra card that the other ones did not, so that was a bit weird. But aside from that, yeah, that sounds about right to me. Mystical Archives had a weird as heck color distribution. I'm guessing that probably has to do with the fact that they wanted them to all be good instants and sorceries, but they had the rule where the uncommons all had to be in standard. My guess is that they couldn't find enough in standard that were good enough for the Mystical Archive. Oh yeah, so we have the luxury of, not being beholden to instants and sorceries, and also not holding ourselves to weird restrictions. Well, maybe different weird restrictions. It's just that there are no colorless instants and sorceries in standard outside of Strixhaven. And obviously artifacts can't be instants or sorceries. No, what I'm saying sorcerers is that the different colors had different... Oh, you're just saying to fill the print sheet they needed more. And they obviously can't be colorless, so they have to be colored. Yeah, but there were 63 of them. And if you double that, you end up with 126, which is 5 more than a print sheet. So I'm not exactly sure how that worked. All right. Well, anyhow. Yeah, so with regard to Megamorph, yes, you'll be paying more on the whole, but you can pay it in smaller increments. So you can get it down on turn 3 and start beating down and then turn it face up. I don't know. I'm not sure that this is right, but I feel like this is a good cost for it. You can have a 4/4. Yes, you could have a 4/4 attacking on turn 4. Is that the most efficient way to spend all of your mana? Probably not, but this is a creature with multiple different modes to play it in, so that generally tends to cost more mana. There's more than that on the print sheet if you include the Japanese art that was printed in collector's boosters, etc. Interesting. So between the normal Mystical Archives and the Japanese ones and the, I don't know, actually Foil Etched probably needs its own print sheet, right? But you're saying between multiple different groups, there was the right number for a print sheet. Okay, that could make sense. Possibly, I don't actually know. Yeah, that's reasonable. I don't know either. I haven't looked into it that much. I just know that I was looking at the Mystical Archive numbers the other day, and it didn't make much sense to me. And it's pretty even. It's just 3 colors have an additional card. And I wasn't sure why that was. The way I see it, print sheets or not, I'm usually not one to argue with existing MTG set ratios. I mean, yes, that's reasonable. However, I would not take the Mystical Archive as necessarily like a set thing. It's a thing they've done one time that had a bunch of weird stuff going on with it. So like I wouldn't necessarily say that if they were to do that again, there would be exactly 63 cards. So I'm not saying, I just don't think that we should necessarily feel like we need to hold to that, because I don't think it's any sort of routine thing, I guess. Now, where they've made, there's generally always 53 rares in a set and now 20 mythics. Unless they have flip cards, that always throws off the math. Sorry, double-faced cards. I'll stick with that. That makes sense to me. But okay. I don't know what to name this guy. Undying / Megamorph. That makes sense. Oh. Let's see. So we got this as a suggestion. We got Minimorph as a suggestion. I like it. Hidden Lurker. Personally, I liked the ratio the Mystical Archive showed up in packs rarity-wise. It felt appropriate. Okay, that's reasonable. I'm not sure that I drafted enough Strixhaven to say, so I couldn't tell you. But if you liked it, that's fine with me. I mean, I would definitely plan to stick close to that number. I just don't think we need to have it exactly if we feel more or less is appropriate. Narcomoeba reprint. Thank you. That was a suggestion we had. At what? Uncommon or rare? I think it was a rare in Guilds of Ravnica for value purposes, but I think it's actually an uncommon level card. Happy Yargle Day. It's Yargle Day? I didn't know that. Case files are for the one-off designs. Oh, it's 9-3. Got it. Okay. I didn't know what that meant. Excellent. I like it. Yes, Panfex. Case files are the one-off designs. They can pretty much be whatever. We want them to be weird. Things that aren't necessarily like stuff we can do in the main set. Like we plan to use a lot of old mechanics, some new weird mechanics that we only want to make like a single card of. We made this tribal rat planeswalker that's not legendary last time. Not sure if this would go in the main set or the case file, but I could also see the design of a white counterspell being something like counter target spell, unless its controller has you create X tokens or some other positive benefit for yourself. That's pretty interesting. Hop on Arena, get some free XP for Yorgle Day? Is that for real? White does not normally do Punisher cards. That is usually red. Which means we should have white do some Punisher cards, right? I made my first white counter spell to go in a made for standard set just recently. I mean, I'm all for white counter spells. I think counter spells are such an important part of the game that they should be in multiple colors, and the reason that they are not is simply because people dislike playing against them. Yeah, black probably gets Punisher effects too, but I'm actually blanking on what it might have gotten recently. Uncounterspell, red, instant. Cast target card in a graveyard that was countered this turn without paying its mana costs. Yeah, like the alternate color pie, Lonkpa, or however you pronounce that. I just don't know how you do that. Or why? I guess you could make cards that, or colors have like a slightly different identity. I mean, you still got pretty much the same effects, right? You've just divvied them up somewhat differently. I don't know. It'd be interesting. Perhaps with something with like affinity for odd numbers. So, for example, a permanent with a mana cost of 3 white would count towards it. Interesting. So your lands wouldn't, which is good. Okay. Let's go green. So it could be something big. Something like that. I just reassigned the Wooburg effects and treated it as a separate pie. Like pink, for example, is a mix of white and green since the two colors are already so similar. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. It just feels like a big undertaking for not a huge amount of gain. But on the other hand, being able to redefine a color the way that you think it should be, that's kind of a cool idea. All right. Multiloquent suggests a 2 and a white sorcery. Each player draws 2 cards and then dredge 2. Okay. Interesting. Although I'm not sure how useful it is to let everybody draw 2 cards. I feel like in limited it's very bad. And the main place it might be decent is Commander. Cyber5 says, I think each color should have access to some interaction to the stack and not necessarily just counter spells, like red redirecting spells or green just ignoring the stack with uncounterability. And Mars says, I do think white should dip more into the tax and delay counters it is supposed to have. There is slot and play pattern considerations, but it should be a tool in white's kit. I agree. But I am not in charge. Unfortunately. Everything would be better if I were. I'll share a custom card I made up a while back. Some people love it. Others want to stab me. All right, MacMoose, I look forward to seeing it. For odd mana value permanence. Thank you. The white counterspell idea I had isn't really a Punisher effect so much as it is a I got a benefit for you casting your spell effect, since other Punisher effects, well, punish your opponents. That's true. It's still like the opponent gets a choice, but it's between a bad thing for them and a good thing for you instead of 2 different bad things for them. I tended it to be affinity for odd number generic mana symbols, so both 3 white and 3 white would count towards it, as it would be the 3 that's being counted, but perhaps it's a bit too hard to build around. Yeah, I don't know how we would word that. for odd mana symbols, I guess. But then people would probably be like, does a single green count? It's only 1 mana. But it doesn't say 1. Like, I'm not demanding Wizards make more white counterspells. I'm just suggesting an idea for how they could be done flavorfully in white. Yeah, Cyber5, like, it's not the end of the world to me that white doesn't have counterspells. I just think that they should, and it's kind of silly that they don't. Because there are multiple types of counterspells where you can divide it up where blue gets hard ones and white gets softer ones. It just makes some sense to me. Okay, Macmoose, here's the design that some people want to stab you over. Stolen Knowledge, 1 blue red, instant. Fate Seal 1, then exile the top card of target player's library. Okay, until the end of your next turn, you may play that card and you may spend mana of any color to cast it. Nah, it's fine. I see no problem with it. It's Fate Seal 1. And it's going to probably steal the top card of their library anyway. Unless you want to end up choosing your own, which is fine. But in that case, you've left them Fate Sealed 1 card 1 time on an instant. Yes, Fate Seal is an oppressive mechanic. But it's much more oppressive when it's the plus on a Planeswalker, like Jace the Mind Sculptor, than when it's like a 1-time thing on an instant that only Fate Seals 1. So I see really no problem with it. Affinity for odd mana value permanents. Creatures with odd mana values get +1/+1. Creatures with even mana values get -1/-1. When card name leaves the battlefield, search your library for a card with an odd mana value, reveal it, and put it into your hand, then shuffle. Okay, you guys are saying this is probably a black card. Yeah, I mean, if it's giving -1/-1 to things, that would make it black. However, look at the text on this bad boy. So you're adding creatures with even mana values get -1/-1. That's a lot of text. So I'm not sure that we need all of this to get our point across. So we can make it black. I'm just saying I don't know that it needs all these abilities. Or rather, I don't think it's a good idea to fit all these abilities on here. Sorcerers doesn't care. Also, looking through some of my one-off designs, I did see this too. Aspect of Horizons. 0. Creature, elemental, 3/3. Cast this spell only if you control a land that is a plains, another land that is an island, third and blah, 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 blah. So, have to be 5 different lands that have 5 types, all 5 types. And if Aspect of Horizons is all colors and has Vigilance, Flying, Menace, Haste, and Trample. Interesting. So, it's a very good creature, but it's very hard to play. Seems interesting. Okay, Multiloquent says I like it without the even hate. I mean, it's an interesting and different build around, right? All right. We're getting a lot of other suggestions. So I think this one's okay like this. And I'm going to... Actually, since it has affinity, it gets cheaper. Let's just like go 5/5. Okay. Red ramp spell. Resource exploitation. 2 in red sorcery. Search your library for a basic land card and put it onto the battlefield with 3 time counters, then shuffle. It gains vanishing. Oh boy, we are moving into full-on time spiral territory here. There's a land card. Put it onto the battlefield with 3 time counters, then shuffle. It gains vanishing. I mean, it's pretty bad, right? You know, it's like a... I guess it comes in untapped. So it's not quite like a rampant growth that's worse in 2 ways. I always forget between vanishing and fading, which is which. Oh, you don't want to give me the reminder text. Oh, right. It would have to have a number after it if it's going to give me reminder text. All right. It just pays for itself and then the land dies. Yeah. I feel like we could probably make it 2 mana. Intertapped. Might be better. Okay, Multiloquent says, this one's a bit nutty. Time Stroll. 1 on blue sorcery. Take an extra turn after this one. You know, I was waiting a good long time to read what your suggestion was. I was trying to go through it in order, get through this red ramp spell, give it its due, talk about it, maybe adjust it a bit. And it was worth every second. You got me. All right, Landlord, green and white. Land creatures you get control get +1/+1 and have vigilance. Put 2 +1/+1 counters on target land you control. It becomes a creature in addition to its other types. 1/1. Interesting. Let's see. So, well, I did make a commander. It gives your land creatures a bunch of good stuff and doesn't make any land creatures. So that was a pretty cool one. I like the concept. Let's see. So green, white. Oops. Creature. It's a landlord. This would be like... That's... Landlord may claim property tax too. Oh yeah, there's no tax effect on this. That's weird. Maybe an enchantment with each creature assigns combat damage equal to its toughness rather than its power. Lethal damage dealt to creatures is determined by their power rather than their toughness. Not sure what colors it would be. That's interesting. It feels also kind of white-green, right? Whoops. Hey, I said undo. This thing, man. Oh, man. This one messes with my brain. Each creature assigns combat damage. Okay, so you're just swapping power and toughness on all creatures. Well, you're not swapping power and toughness, which would be red and blue. You're just swapping what the power and the toughness do, which is kind of the same thing. Yeah, Cyber5 says maybe red as a permanent stat swapping effect. I don't know. Well, all the other effects that do that are in green, white, and Bant. Yeah. Are there any effects that do them both at the same time? It probably still count as green, white. Maybe an artifact if we can't decide. Oh, that would be interesting. Okay, this would probably be more like 4 mana or something. And then... artifact. Nope. The defender... Oh, you're saying nope, there's not any that do them at the same time. Gotcha. I mean, it's a very, like, unique effect. There aren't too many cards that do either one. In fact, I think there's only one card that makes lethal damage dealt to creatures based on their power. What is that? Is that Godzilla? Yes, I was right. It is Godzilla. Yes, if you want to get technical about it, Xylortha, Strength Incarnate, even though there was never a version of that printed. Okay. Maybe calling it something like the Looking Glass or something similar. Ooh, okay. I like that. Actually, this feels like maybe a rare. Like it's a mirror that's a portal to another world. Yeah, I like that. Because remember, yeah, we can come up with all the awesome abilities we want, but we do have to flavor them as aberrant phenomena. And I think like a weird looking glass makes some sense here. Oh, Mechmoose, I didn't see your suggestion. That's a good one. Target opponent takes an extra turn after this one. Seems useful. Like the like that combo in Commander where you can skip infinite turns. And then you you could basically phase out and skip infinite turns. And then you basically just stay phased out until everybody else has long died from milling out. Good times. The reserves. Legendary artifact. 5. Mythic. Tap. Choose a card name that hasn't been chosen from among Mox, Pearl, Sapphire, Jet, Ruby, Emerald, Time Walk, Time Twister, Black Lotus. Are you missing one? There we go. Ancestral Recall. I was trying to figure out what it was. Create a copy of a card with the chosen name. You may cast the copy. All right. Well, we can at least put it down, even though I'm really, really not sure about it. Time Walk. It can't be blocked as long as defending player controls a time. That's funny. All right. blue-green legendary creature. If you control another creature other than this, return it to its hand, to your hand. This creature can't be blocked. 2 green here. Let's just put all this in a card. It'll make it easier for me to parse. What? Oh, just that. Darn you. All right. So just like if ever you have another creature, this gets bounced to your hand. Dude. He can't be blocked, and until end of turn, he gets +X/+X, where X is the number of other non-land permanents you control. Interesting. So it gets huge, but only if you have like a bunch of artifacts and enchantments and stuff, and not other creatures. Okay. All right, let's see. I've written down some other ideas. I did put it in here, so don't you worry about that. Specific, clear. There we go. What else? Oh man, I know I had a bunch of ideas, and then I feel like where did I put them? Yeah. So a lot of the good ideas aren't in here. Spell Eating Hydra, 0/1. Enters the battlefield, counter a spell, and gain mana value +1 counters. It'd be Simic, of course. Sure. Yeah, I'm not sure how weird it feels. Like, it's not super common, but they've definitely done it. Like Draining Welk. Yeah. So I could probably just look at Draining Welk's wording. Which is this. But it doesn't need flying. I guess it could be like whelp. Like a baby hydra. There we go. Something like that. And it would have to cost more, obviously. Give it trample. Ugh. It is a hydra. All right. I'm getting pretty tired here. So let's do one more card, and then I'm just going to call it for the night. I know tonight's been kind of weird, so I apologize for that. Maybe I'll have a more specific plan of what to get done next week so that we maybe don't waste as much time. But yeah, this seems rather normal, actually. Oh, you mean this design? Don't spend an hour on a planeswalker. Oh, yeah, I don't know. I think designing planeswalkers, both this time and for Neil Devar, has been one of my least favorite parts. So I think if I keep doing set design streams like this in the future, I will just come up with a base design for a planeswalker and decide this is what we're basing this on. And then we can talk about that and discuss that. But instead of having like a million different ideas for a single planeswalker thrown at me, I think I will just start out deciding what it's going to start with, and we'll go from there. And that should make it a lot easier. Yeah, but just like it'll save time and just be a lot less stressful for me. But yes, most of the others were pretty good. It's just really frustrating when it's like, okay, we have a bunch of good ideas, but nobody can seem to agree on them. The one thing that I like, nobody else likes. The one thing that, another person likes, nobody else likes. So it's just really hard because everybody wants the planeswalkers. Like, they're the thing that people are most invested in. So they want their version of the card in the set. And I understand that. But just a lot. Maybe having design submissions and discussions off stream for planeswalkers. Yeah, maybe you can only submit planeswalker ideas off stream in the Discord so that I can compile those and we can work through them. Which wouldn't necessarily be as fair to people who are on stream but not on the Discord. But like, there's only so much I can do. We just spent far too much time on the planeswalkers. So. Agent Codex, SMH. Agent Codex. Like a book of all the organization's agents? It feels like a cool artifact. Maybe not as much a case file. Okay, do we want to do Minimorph? That seems kind of interesting. That was a cool suggestion. What color would that be? I mean, obviously, like with most morph abilities. No, that was my colorless. Ah, yes, your colorless walker from last week. I did like that design. I don't think it quite ended up fitting. Well, I think it could fit. I think we just didn't end up going with it because we needed a red walker. And so then we went with a like red and colorless walker. So that was interesting. But I thought it was a cool design. All right, let's try Minimorph on white. I gave you the reserves for the case file because Garthing is the ultimate power play. I mean, it is the ultimate power play. It is the Power 9. I need to go look up the wording on this. It'll be a lot easier than just trying to remember. Yeah, I cast this card face down as a 2/2 creature for 3. Turn it face up anytime for its Minimorph cost and put a -1/-1 counter on it. Excellent. Shrink Ray test subject. I love it. Minimorph probably wants to be black with lots of -1/-1 counters, no? I guess if it's the only one, it could be in any color. Yeah, I don't know. I could see it in any color. Black could be good, both for, if it is a Shrink Ray test subject, maybe it's a rat, because the test subjects tend to be rats. Or, yeah, I mean, black does tend to like -1/-1 counters more. Elephants? Yeah, so it should be something huge. I keep forgetting Garth is a verb now. Yeah, I mean, we've made it one. it's interesting. Okay. So if it's an elephant, what, those tend to be like 3/3s? Of course, if it's a 3/3, then just turning it up with a -1/-1 counter doesn't do much for it, right? 3/3 lifelink. That would do something for it. Why am I typing that again? Lifelink. Okay, so then you can either cast it as is, you can cast it as a 3/3 lifelink for 3. Or you can cast it as a 3/3 as a 2/2 for 3 and later turn it up into a 2/2 with lifelink. Yeah, I'm not seeing the value for playing it face down right here. Maybe as it has a bonus as long as it has a -1/-1 counter. Shouldn't it be something like 2 white, white, or 3 white? Probably. Four mana, 4/3. Ooh. 4-power lifelinkers are dangerous. You gotta be careful. Or 3/4. Ooh, 3/4 could work. Okay. So it's a 4 mana, 3/4 lifelink. That's a fine card. I would actually be quite happy to play that card. Lifelink is a very good effect. And a 3/4 for 4 is passable. 3/4 makes it survive a block against another face down after flipping. That is a good point. So one of the nice things about the case files is we can have lots of different types of morph. And even if they're all different, and then they could still masquerade just as like normal undercover cards. People think, okay, they're just 2/2s, but nope, boom, you can flip it up. It's a 2/3. It wins combat. Puts it in line with the IMO common. IMO. No. What would that be? Okay, I think this is a reasonable design. Oh, Ikoria common. Gotcha. I was like, what about in your opinion? Okay, so 5 mana, 4/3. Ikoria common. Is this like a white common? Is it 4/3? I don't see it. I should check my old files for some mix and match card ideas. Yeah, that would be great. So we can either come up with case file ideas through just like what are some weird effects and maybe some like mix and match mechanics, or we can come up with it from the side of, you know, what's a cool like monster of the week thing from X-Files or Gravity Falls or whatever. How can we make a card out of that? Something interesting. So either way you want to approach from is fine, but we do want to make sure that the final product can be something that makes sense as like a paranormal thing. Also fine with a 4-mana 3/4. Excellent. I know Black and White have done 5-mana 3/4s, 3/4 lifelinkers at common. So at uncommon and in a case file slot, just loses a mana off there and has Minimorph. Sorry. So it seems like a pretty decent card. So just have to make a list of different morph variations. Yeah, I mean, there's not... We tried a lot of morph variants to come up with... Eventually, we just went with Undercover, which is something that somebody else had already used in a different set. But we just found most of them didn't work very well. Maybe if it were just a single card, instead of like trying to make it work across a whole set, that might be easier. So, yeah, shoot, you come up with as many as you want. But we did have trouble like coming up with some good ones. Ikoria had a 4 and a black 4/3 lifelinker. I don't see it. There's the 3/3 for 3 lifelinker, Splendor Mare. No, that was an M21. Ah, okay. Yep, there it is. 4 and a 3, 4/3 for 5. Lifelinker at common in black. Okay, that's good to know. That's good precedent. Generally, 4-power lifelink is something you got to be careful with. So, good to know that they have done that. A cool creature would be a 0/0 with Graph 2 and Outlast 2 white. That would be interesting. Okay, well, oh, sorry. Land Creature Walk hasn't been done yet, as far as I know. Land Creature Walk. I'm not sure what that means. So just like a land walk ability where it's like creature instead, like if they control an elf, this thing can't be blocked? That'd be interesting. Maybe a riff on Scornful Egotist? I like the idea of a riff on Scornful Egotist. Everyone always likes to hate on that card, and I'm like, well, it was in a block that cared about high mana values. I never played then, so I've heard that it was still bad even then, but I wouldn't know from experience because I wasn't playing back then. Oh, can't be blocked if they control a land creature was the intent. Thank you. Okay, I guess that makes sense. I was just reading it as like I needed to replace the land with a type of land, and then that didn't make sense, so then I just did it to the creature. Like a 1/1 that turns face down into a 10/10 face down creature. That would be fun. But yeah, so come up with your ideas. I got to get off here because I'm getting pretty wiped. But yeah. Oh, I forgot to message the Discord this time. But our Discord is right there. If you would like to submit ideas for next week, we have a tab where you can just submit all of your ideas for the set. And if that is it, I think I'm going to get off tonight. Thank you all for showing up, for helping out, and making suggestions. And I feel like we didn't get that much done tonight. I know we designed several cards after the Planeswalker, but I don't know. I feel like it was kind of an off night for me, so I apologize. But hopefully, I can be more on task next week and we can get a lot of stuff done. Thank you all for coming. Have an excellent night or day or whatever it is, wherever you are. And I hope to see you all next week as well.